There are a lot of weird tricks in Destiny, from tons of healing turrets, overshields out of thin air, and clearing entire rooms of enemies with a single shot from a glaive. So in this video, I'll go over 24 weird tricks in episode Heresy. I'm Marshix, and I make Destiny 2 guides, and I have no friends. If you enjoy, all I ever ask for is just a like on the video. Also, if you want any of these cute little Marshy emotes in the comments of all my videos, you can become a member for only $1 a month. And the more members we get, the more emotes we're allowed to have. You can make tons of healing turrets. Speaker Sight will turn your healing grenades into healing turrets wherever you throw them. And if you have the Heat Rises aspect on Solar, it will create a turret at your feet each time you consume a grenade. However, if you're in your Song of Flame super, you'll keep getting grenades really fast. So if you combine this with Heat Rises, you'll be able to consume your grenades over and over and over to make tons of healing turrets to ensure no one on your team dies. You can have one turret for every single person in a raid team. This is absolutely overkill, but I thought it was hilarious and could maybe be useful in the future. You can spam grenade launcher shots. Envious Arsenal will automatically reload your weapons whenever you deal damage with your other two weapons. So if you tag something with Anarchy to deal damage over time, and you have two other weapons both with Envious Arsenal, you can keep swapping back and forth and never have to reload for as long as Anarchy stays on its target. This also works with Finality's Augur, and that will actually stick around longer than Anarchy. So if you decide to use this weird loadout, that's another great option. Demolitionist is a perk on a lot of weapons, and it will reload your weapon each time you throw a grenade. However, this will also activate whenever you throw your Ionic Sentry. So you just get a few arc kills to get your Ionic Sentry, then you can dump all your ammo, throw a Sentry to reload it, dump all your ammo again, then throw your actual grenade to reload it again, and then continue firing. So for most damage phases, you never have to reload. And this also works with Gunpowder Gamble, so only Titans are left out, as they should be. There's a crazy glitch with Edge of Action. If you throw down a Jello bubble and shoot it to break it, the space where it once was will continue giving you the buffs for the full duration, even though the bubble no longer exists. So you can put this literally anywhere, then whenever you or a teammate stand in that space, you will gain an overshield and a small damage buff. And since the exotic glaives work on all classes now, you can do this on any character. And yes, Helm of Saint 14 does continue to blind them even though there is no bubble. Feed the Void will give you Devour each time you get an ability kill, but if you freeze an enemy with something like Chill Clip and then you get a kill with the shatter damage, that will actually count as an ability kill, giving you Devour just by shooting your Chill Clip weapon, which makes Tanasha's mastery that much better. The same is true with Volatile Explosions, so Destabilizing Rounds just got a lot better too. And it also works with Unravel effects, but only if the actual projectile gets the kill. So it's a little rare to see, but it will activate itself every once in a while. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are more weird ways to activate it. It seems like they patched the Tormentor glitch, but no worries, there's still a way to cheese it. Just jump up to the top of these pillars, and you can shoot down on the Tormentor from a distance. He can still shoot at you, but he's not going to grab you or slam you or suppress you, so you should be fine. You can also kill the Ogre boss just as easily. Just stand on this tentacle thing above it and shoot down at him. The only things that might kill you are the invisible snipers, but you can just kill both of them and focus on the boss from a safe distance. You can also see all of the pimples from up here, so you never need to drop down and risk losing a revive token. Have you ever seen these things in the Nether and tried to shoot them but nothing happens? Well, this is because they mark the main objectives, so you know which ones are required to progress. It took me the longest time to realize that. And you can actually pull out your ghost to see these through walls instead of wandering around for 14 minutes trying to find this one crystal. You can get adept weapons completely solo. These will drop from any encounter of the Nether on expert difficulty. However, the power level of the enemies will scale up the farther you get into the activity, so it's more difficult and less efficient the longer you last. But if you just do the first encounter and pick up all your loot, you can just load it up again from scratch and you don't have to deal with any of the high level enemies, making this great for solo players trying to get their high tier loot and for teams trying to speedrun for those elusive shiny adept weapons. The Vault of Glass weapons have a new origin trait called Time Lost Magazine. This will double your magazine size for 20 seconds after popping your super. Since this is on a timer, you can shoot your weapon and then reload, and as long as the timer is still there, the magazine will stay doubled. But this doesn't just work with normal reloads, it also works with things that bypass reloading like Marksman Dodge or Icarus Dash. So you can dump a bunch of rockets really fast without having to reload at all. The Thunder Doctrine dungeon is basically just true or false simulator, but if you don't feel like thinking at all, you can just use this cheat sheet. If it starts with any of these, it's an automatic lie. If it ends with Hive, it's a lie. If it starts with Darkness, it's an automatic true. And you can read the rest for yourself. Shout out to this guy for making this cheat sheet. Barodiad is supposed to never run out of ammo, but right now it is. However, if you disable full auto firing in your settings, it will work correctly. This will leave it at 1 ammo so you never accidentally reload early and waste the perk. With that being said, I'm still not using Barodiad. Destabilizing rounds has a secret. This just got a buff, so now whenever you get a kill, it will give you volatile rounds for 5 seconds to spread debuffs to everything. But this actually gives you volatile rounds, not the weapon. So if you get a kill with your primary weapon, you can then swap to a void heavy weapon, and that too will have volatile, meaning it can make enemies explode for more damage, and it allows it to pierce barrier shields to deal with champions too. I'm sure you're already aware of this, but in case you live under a rock, Titans just got a new aspect called Storm's Keep. This will enhance your barricade by surrounding it with lightning, and whenever you're behind your barricade, you will passively gain bolt charge, and your weapons can release bolt charge. Now, if you have a weapon that deals damage over time like area denial grenade launchers, Osteostriga, Thorn, or Le Monarch, you will actually build up your bolt charge stacks faster than other weapons. Then, since you're behind a barricade, it will immediately release them to create tons of extra lightning strikes and deal a ton of extra damage. That is, until the artifact goes away, and then it'll kinda suck. But until then, this is kinda OP. Cold Denial is the only pulse rifle with the lowest possible zoom stat, which a lot of people like, myself included. It's the same exact zoom as hand cannons, but it's a pulse rifle. But if you get a new version of Cold Denial and you enhance it, you can equip the CQC Optics Low mod to lower this even further to 13 zoom, which is equivalent to SMGs on a pulse rifle. You can get high stat armor basically for free. If you head over to Failsafe and pick up the Hunter's Journal, you will passively earn Echo engrams as you play the game and complete activities. And these stack up fast. You can then turn around and convert those to high stat armor that's guaranteed to be in the 60s. You will essentially be getting high stat armor passively just for existing. Shoot to Loot is a weird perk that will pick up ammo for you by shooting it. But if you have a weapon with Shoot to Loot and either Dragonfly or Kinetic Trimmers as the other perk, the explosions will count as weapon damage, meaning you don't really have to shoot the ammo, you just have to shoot the enemies, and you'll probably accidentally pick up all the ammo without even noticing. You can create ignitions with only one shot. But first, if you enjoy the video, be sure to smash that like button. Vision of Confluence and Nullify are the only two primary weapons that get Firefly and Incandescent. Firefly will make enemies explode, and Incandescent will set them on fire. But if you get a kill with the Firefly explosion, it will also trigger Incandescent. So if you can get a bunch of enemies grouped up and get one precision kill, it can build up enough Scorch stacks to ignite everything around it for a massive explosion with only one shot. Disorienting Blow on Arc Hunter now gives you bolt charge whenever you deal damage with it. But if you punch an inanimate object like a sparrow, a sticky grenade, or this random blueberry, not only will it give you bolt charge, but it won't consume your melee. So you can do this over and over and pretty much get free bolt charge at any time. And to that one guy in the comments complaining about me calling someone a blueberry, blueberry is not a slur, get a life. You can permanently blind enemies with swords. Stronghold allows you to block with swords indefinitely, and you take basically 0 damage while blocking. So if you pair this with any sword with flash counter, you will be able to blind enemies constantly. All you have to do is walk up to them, block their damage, and then they will completely drop their guard for about 5 seconds, which allows you to play tank while your teammates destroy everything that's scary. Also, since flash counter deals a small amount of damage whenever you take damage, it will also instantly trigger Stronghold, giving you restoration without having to drop your guard, which I don't think is possible with any other perk. As you play Strikes, Crucible, or the other game mode, you will earn engrams for the corresponding vendor. But you don't want to turn these in. Instead, let these build up for a while, and by the time you have a large stockpile of them, you will probably reset that vendor a couple times. Each reset will make that vendor's weapons have a chance to drop with one additional perk. So I reset my Crucible 2 times, which means I can now get weapons with 4 main perks. And if I reset again, it can go up to 5, and one more after that will make it 6. So don't waste your engrams on boring rolls, just wait a little bit and you'll get way more perks to choose from. If you have an Adamantite with Attrition Orbs, you can spawn Orbs of Power by shooting your allies with healing bullets. When you have 10 stacks of bolt charge, ability damage will trigger a lightning strike. But if you apply volatile to an enemy and make them explode, it will also call down lightning even though it's technically not an ability. So destabilizing weapons will be pretty good in bolt charge builds. I don't think this is intentional, but you can make tons of explosions with a glaive. Triton's Vice makes enemies explode whenever you get a kill with a glaive. But if you have a glaive with Incandescent, all the fire will count as weapon damage, meaning this explosion will chain to all nearby enemies, wiping out entire waves with only one shot. And the solar exotic glaive also just got incandescent, so that too can do this. You can get your full super in about 10 seconds, but you have to click on this video to see how. Thanks for watching, I'm Marshix, and I'll see you next time.